The Z Fold 8 Ultra just launched, and half the cases already up on Amazon weren't actually built for it. Some are the exact same mold as last year's Z Fold 7 case with a new title slapped on, and some skip the hinge entirely. Trust the wrong one and you're betting a $2,000 hinge on a case that was never measured for it. So we're not ranking these by price, we're ranking them by how much confidence you can actually have in the hinge protection and the fit. Worst to best, let's get into it. We've tested the top contenders, and the results might surprise you. Let's see which ones actually survive the hinge test. 6. FNTCASE Hinge Protection Case, Clear. FNTCASE's clear case leans hard into magnet strength. 38 individual N52 magnets generating a claimed 2,400 grams force of holding power, which the listing frames as roughly 7 times a standard magnetic case. If you're running a MagSafe style charging stand or car mount daily, that kind of holding force is the difference between the phone staying locked on over a pothole and it sliding off mid-drive. On the drop side, the case pairs a rigid polycarbonate backplate with flexible TPU bumpers around the edge and 4 built-in corner airbags, backed by an 18-feet military-grade claim. It also includes a dedicated hinge cover designed to stop the inner screen hinge from shifting out of alignment, plus a pre-fitted screen protector, genuinely useful extras for a foldable, where the hinge is usually the most expensive part to repair. One thing worth flagging directly: this exact shell is marketed as a dual-fit case for both the Z Fold 8 Ultra and the Z Fold 7, since the two phones share nearly identical dimensions. That's not a knock on build quality, but if you're ordering, double-check you're selecting the Fold 8 Ultra variant, specifically, rather than assuming any FNTCASE Fold listing will fit. 5. TORRAS Q3 VegSkin Leather Case. This is where TORRAS shifts from thin and clean to thin and dressed up. The Q3 VegSkin wraps the same general shockproof hinge cover and raised bezel camera protection in organic silicone leather, instead of bare plastic or TPU. And it's the first case on this list to actually name a drop test standard. The listing cites 4 XMIL-STD-81 OG with a 16-foot drop height claim. Worth noting that's the older G revision of that military testing standard, rather than the newer H revision you'll see cited later in this list. Not necessarily a meaningful real-world difference, but if you're comparing certifications line by line, it's a detail worth knowing rather than assuming both numbers mean the same thing. Inside, a microfiber lining cushions the phone against the shell, and the case snaps on without adhesive, so there's no sticky residue to deal with if you switch cases later. It also includes a 360-degree spinning magnetic stand and 2 included screen protectors. The leather finish is a legitimate differentiator if you've been annoyed by every other case on this list looking like a phone accessory rather than a piece of gear you'd actually want visible in a meeting. 4. TORRAS Q 3-spin 360 magnetic stand case. TORRAS's third and most feature-loaded entry combines the same general hinge cover approach with what they call X-Shock 3-layer cushioning and a 4XMIL grade claim. Though unlike the VegSkin case just above it, this listing doesn't attach a specific MIL-STD number, just the general term. The bezels are more precisely specified here though, a 2.0 millimeters raised lip around the screen and 0.8 millimeters around the camera, which is thinner camera coverage than the VegSkin case offers, but still enough to keep the lens off a flat surface. The standout feature is the stand mechanism itself. TORRAS says the Q3 spin hinge has been tested through 30,000 rotations, and it's paired with a second-generation magnet ring rated at 18 newtons of holding force me. The listing frames that is roughly 40% stronger than their prior generation magnet. If you regularly prop your fold open for video calls, reading, or watching something hands-free, a stand that's been rotation tested rather than just bolted on is a meaningfully different proposition than a case where the kickstand is an afterthought. The catch is the same one that follows TORRAS through this whole list. Strong on named mechanical testing for the stand and magnet, vaguer on the actual drop protection standard compared to what's coming next. Verdict: Best for buyers who use their fold propped up constantly and want the stand itself to be durable, not just present. 3. Spigen Optik Armor Pro MagFit. Spigen built this case around a different priority than raw drop survival, protecting the camera housing specifically. The Optik Armor Pro is designed with lens protection as its core feature, on the logic that a cracked camera lens on a phone this expensive is its own expensive repair, separate from the hinge or the folding display. It's also QI2 certified, meaning it's built to QI2's magnetic wireless charging spec rather than relying on a generic magnet ring bolted into the shell. Spigen's broader Fold 8 lineup uses one of two hinge protection approaches across its case range, a mechanical spring hinge cover on some models, or a flexible magnetic hinge connector on others. And the company has been building foldable cases since Samsung's very first Z Fold, launched back in 2019, which is a longer track record on this specific problem than most of the newer brands on this list can claim. What we can't confirm from the available listing is a case-specific drop height number, or MIL-STD citation. The way we can for the pics ahead, Spigen's marketing for this particular model centers on the camera protection angle rather than a headline drop test figure. If a smashed camera lens is your specific worry, or you want a name brand case with an actual multi-year design history behind it, that's a reasonable trade for skipping the generic grade language entirely. 2. SUPCASE UB Grip. This is SUPCASE's step-up model, and it carries the exact same MIL-STD-810 H-516.8 certification and 15-foot drop test claim as the UB stand just above it. Same hinge coverage, same four-corner airbag design, same 1,500 gram N52 magnet ring for MagSafe style charging and mounts. What earns it the higher spot is the added versatility. The UB Grip ships with two interchangeable front frames, one with a standard HD clear screen protector, and one with a built-in privacy filter so you can swap between the two depending on whether you're working in public or at your desk. It also includes the same 2-in-1 kickstand and ring holder design on the back, giving you a secure grip point during normal use that folds out into a stand when you need it. The trade-off, and it's a real one, swapping between two full front frames means giving up the slim, close to original profile that TORRAS and Spigen's slimmer models are built around. This is a case for someone who's decided bulk is an acceptable price for both a sighted drop standard and situational screen privacy. Not someone trying to keep their $2,000 phone feeling like a $2,000 phone in the hand. Verdict: best for buyers who want the same certified protection as the UB stand, plus the flexibility to switch to a privacy screen on demand. Last one on the list, and it's the only case here built specifically to fix a problem the others don't really address. What happens to a two-piece fold case after months of folding and unfolding? 1. Spigen Tough Armor Pro MagFit. Most cases built for foldables are effectively two separate shells connected by a thin hinge piece. And over time, that connection is where a lot of them loosen or separate, which is the exact failure mode Spigen calls out by name in its own product description for this case. The Tough Armor Pro MagFit uses an integrated hinge guard that physically connects both halves of the case into one structure, rather than relying on a spring clip or adhesive strip that can wear loose. Around that structural fix, Spigen adds a genuinely dual-layer build with air cushion technology concentrated in the corners, the points that take the actual impact in most real-world drops, plus raised edges around both the screen and the camera housing to keep either surface elevated off a flat drop. It's also built for QI2 wireless charging, so you're not stuck with a generic third-party magnet ring. It's certified to the same spec Apple ecosystem accessories use. Verdict: if you're buying one case for this phone and want the single design most directly engineered around the actual way fold cases fail over time, not just a drop test number, but a fix for the mechanical weak point, this is it. If you just picked up the Z Fold 8 Ultra, drop a comment with which one you're going with. And if this saved you from guessing on a $2,000 phone, subscribe for more breakdowns as more of these cases hit the market over the next few weeks.